All right, y'all. So the summer of 1988 might have been the most important summer in rap music. Lock in. It's time for Grown Man Bars, y'all.
Kick ass.
I'm your man, Chad. With me, as always, is Big Absoloot, the OG of OGs of OGs. BA, what's good,
Man,
cousin?
I'm ready. I'm excited. Again, I tell you, it's healthy today. It's healthy. 88's my year, baby. 88, time to set it straight. Know what I'm saying? It ain't no half stepping.
There's a lot of unks out
And
there
I'm ready,
that are jazzed up.
Uh,
There's a lot of unks that got their little brown
look,
swirling
it's
in the
brown.
cup right
Hey, it's
now.
brown looking out. Let's get it together. Everybody swirl a glass. Hey, let's go old
That's
school.
right.
Parmesan. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Parmesan.
Yes, sir.
Crown of the Royal. A little irking and jerking. A little easy, Jesus. That's VSOP.
Hey,
let's get it ready.
We grown now. We can get the Remy Martin special now.
Because we grown, right? Yeah. Because now we get the
we
Remy
grown.
Marshall special.
Yeah, the
Yes, sir.
VSOP. We can sip that
Yes,
slow.
sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Hey, while you're sipping slow, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe. We really need that. That helps the channel out, and we do appreciate it. We're also live everywhere you get your podcast. So go on and get it on the podcast, too. It's a lot easier when you're on the road. I was just doing that, and it's a lot of fun. And speaking of the Unks, while we're talking to the Unks, BA, there's something that's going around on the TikTok. 100 Unks versus 100 young pups. All I got to say about this one is y'all got a better chance with the gorilla. You got a better chance with the gorilla than you do with 100 Unks.
Look here. Let me speak for the Unks for a minute. Let me speak for the non-skinny jean, still got some change in their pants, fat wallet dudes. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk to them. We still carry cash. You know what I'm saying? Let me holler at you. Look here, young Thundercats. Look, this is not for you to decide tomorrow to wake up and the first old school you see to try here. But what I'm saying to you is we have this thing innate in us that does not allow us to take L's in a certain light at this age. You know, y'all still slap box. Y'all still do the little game where you throw your hand up and hands still move. We don't do any of that. Because whatever's going to happen with us, we too old for a recourse. You understand? Like when we was young, we take a punch to the face. We point at you, talk noise. 2 hours later, we in a club. Maybe we see you later. Maybe we don't. Now you catch you hit me. I got to take time off of work. I need PTO. I'm going to have some sick day. But we don't have that in us. We got to move through that now. So you got to understand. Dre said it the best. If you really want to take it there, we can. Just remember, you messing with a family man. Got a lot more to lose than you. Remember that when you want to come and fill these shoes.
Hey, I have seen these videos of the young pups like playing this game like I got your hat. That never, see, it's not just the age difference here. It is the generational difference. Our Generation X is confrontational. That is just how we were raised to be. We are confrontational. If you take my hat, we have an issue.
We straight to it. And that's the other thing. We straight to it. It ain't gonna be a bunch of, come on, man, stop playing it. We straight to it, because at that level of disrespect, to you it's just a hat. But to us, you took the time to play with me. You know what I'm saying?
You went into my space, into my personal space, and took something from me. That is how we take that. You went into my personal space and took something of mine from me.
Chilling.
That's how
I'm chilling. I'm probably listening to some Craig Mack, sipping on lemonade. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. On the bus stop or whatever, just chilling. Trying not to let trying to let the bunions breathe, trying to get these fallen arches or whatnot, trying to get some space. You know what I'm saying? Trying to peek at a little something under my glasses, whatever. Now you want to play.
Slept on my shoulder wrong last night, not in a good mood.
Got a kink in my neck, and now you want to play with my hat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of all this old age stuff, let me kick it back to when we were a little bit younger.
1, 2.
So y'all out there, y'all know how folks talk about the summer of 96 for the East Coast or the blog era of the old 90s. What we're saying is before all that, the summer of 88 was ground zero for how the 90s was built.
1, 2. Summer.
And let me tell you why. The critical 90 days or 90-ish days, don't count the days, if they might not be 90, I don't care. It sounds better to say 90 days, so just let me get away with it. Be mad at my opinion later on. Don't be mad at the 90
Right.
days. Here are the albums that came out from May 17 to August the 14th in 1998. Run DMC, Tougher Than Left. EPMD, Strictly Business. Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the Kane. Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader, and NWA, Straight Outta Compton. All those came out from May 14 to August 17. Those are Hall of Fame albums. Hall of Fame album. That's like a draft class that had 9 Hall of Famers in it. When's the last time an NBA draft had 9 Hall of Famers in it? I'm sure there is one, but I don't know what it is. Y'all can put that in the comments.
The summer of '88.
But that is why.
That's like when you heard of the 1992 Dream Team going to the Olympics. When they named all the people on that team, that's the summer of '88.
That was your starting rotation. You're right. That is the best way to call it. That is the original Dream Team of albums. But see, here's the most important thing. It's not just how great the albums was. These albums started something. Like each one of these albums started something. Like I know how big of a fan you are of Big Daddy Kane. What did Long Live the Kane start in 1998 for rap?
It was the first time you ever heard the word Asiatic, right? Big Daddy Kane gave you your dictionary. Now I always say KRS-One gave you your history book. Big Daddy Kane gave you a dictionary. But most importantly, I think Big Daddy Kane brought to life the ability to talk to you. It wasn't just his flow. It was his conversation. Long Live the Kane, Ain't No Half-Stepping was a movement. Let me say again. Ain't No Half-Stepping was a book. Like I started the show with the rapper stepping to me. They want to get some, but I'm the Kane, so you know the outcome. Like when
the title of the song becomes an expression.
Ain't No Half-Stepping was a movement. It described people out there going to get it. It described how you was going to get it. Like Long Live the Kane gave you so. I can't. Because if I get started, because it's a rotating playlist.
Or who gets inspired by? Who are the artists that we know later on that got inspired by
let's talk about the Nas's. Let's talk about the Black Thoughts. Let's talk about the Most Defs. Let's talk about Pharoah Monch. Let's talk about artists that didn't have to sound like somebody else. And you could literally, for all intent and purposes, talk your shit and leave it at that. LL gave us boast rap 86, 87. It was okay to talk about yourself in the first, second, and third person, sometimes with Cool J. Now let's kick it up a notch. Let's be aware of self. Let's be at a higher level as far as on a literary basis. And let's still talk that shit.
And just right off of that, another album that was a first that came out on June 28th, It Takes a Nation of Millions. That was an album that just the same way that you were just saying, it told rappers it's okay to tell your truth. It's okay to tell what you see. Whatever it is you see, whatever it is you're feeling, whatever thoughts you're having, it's okay to say them. Talk about your world. Tell people how you live it. And that starts a lot of the same rappers you just named. Nas, Mos Def, Common, Ice Cube.
Chuck D was a big influence for Ice Cube. And it's funny that you mentioned Cube because I feel like It Takes a Nation of Millions was a yin. But you have to have a yang. And if you look at a story, two sides. If It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back was the yang, Straight Outta Compton had to be the yang. Because it was, this is what's going on, Black people. This is what's going on in the hood, in the neighborhoods, in the communities, from both perspectives. This is what's going on from the corporate side. This is what's going on for the government, the man, however you want to put it. And then also, this is the recourse. Like this is, after all of that's over, after the police brutality, this is where I live at every day. Like this every day. This is what we see every day. We got nothing. This is like we talk about, like Public Enemy talk about, they're putting crack in the community, they putting crack in the community, drugs in the community, whatever. And then NWA said, yeah, like The dope man is down the street from my like I see it every day. This is crazy. So yeah, that's
And what's funny is the geographic movement of what you just named, because I'll throw another name in there. So you had Chuck D in New York, who influenced Ice Cube out in LA, who both of those influenced Scarface down in Houston. And they all end up doing the exact same kind of content because they become what they call like their street reporter.
It's crazy too. I'm glad you brought that point. I didn't even think about it that deep until you said it. If you take what Chuck D's saying and you take what Ice Cube's saying, you get what Scarface says. That's crazy to me. You see what I'm saying? Like the two of those together is face. Like that's next level for me. I didn't put that together.
It makes it logical that those are two of the first two people that Scarface named when he talks about the top two people that influence him. And that's all coming from the summer of '88. But what else comes from the summer of '88 is, if you're not paying attention, the albums that we just named were a big shift in what was coming before that. Because what came before that was a lot of party rap.
Yeah, we were very much in the party.
This became like revolutionary rap, political rap, and follow the leader, you know, the start of lyricism, you know? Like that, when the R gets in, when the 18th letter gets involved, that gets pretty big.
I don't know if y'all know my history, but I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melt the microphone, stand the cold as the ice cream, music orientated. So when hip hop was originated, it fitted like pieces of puzzle, complicated. This is '88, people. You take that, that rhyme scheme right there, put it on a mustard beat or hit board. Just put anywhere you want to put it now and check the streams. That's all I'm saying. We always talk about GOAT, legend. We throw a lot of names out. Visionary. How about revolutionary? What Rakim did in '88 didn't even become popular to do till maybe Jay started really getting into it 2002, 2004. Nas had really started to develop. Like what Rakim was doing in '88, the appreciation for people who attempted to do what he didn't even happen till the 2000s. That's what's crazy to me. That's how far ahead he was in what he was doing lyrically.
You know, I've always said that, and maybe he was too far ahead of his time to really be appreciated, because everybody was doing so many different things, but he was like, wait a minute, let me crank this up to like 12. And maybe people were like, there's so much else going on, I don't really want to have to think so much about
now, I mean, he was like, you know, I just want to show y'all what rapping is about. Now, y'all continue to do what y'all do. Hey, I'm here for it.
A pure technician.
But when we're talking about bar skills,
technician.
I mean, Kane was not that far behind by any stretch of lyrically, right? KRS lyrically. Like there was a couple guys right there, right? Cool G that we've talked about several times. LL, right? But when we talk about the separating factor and what he did between the end of '86 going into '88, because going from Paid in Full, we always talk about the sophomore jinx. There was not one. Like, there was not one. Microphone Fiend argued, it's one of those songs that people argue about being one of the greatest hip hop songs ever.
And after this summer of '88, though, after all of these albums, MTV started playing more rap.
They did.
BET started playing more rap. And something we all love, MTV Raps debuted around August the 6th of 1988, which became huge for rap music to broadcast that out there, because that became, when we did our little episode on MTV Raps, so many of y'all commented like, hey, I remember waking up watching that show, getting my cereal, whatever, like that was part of my day, was watching that show. That became huge. And the Grammys finally decided to give one award for a rap album that next year in 1989, which brings me to our little barbershop.
Did you hear anything? Have you heard it?
Barbershop rant. It's a little story cipher about Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff and KRS-One and who else was there?
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah. For those of y'all who don't know, which I didn't know this for a long time, there wasn't a rap Grammy until 1989. Right. After all of these albums, the first Grammy didn't go out until 1989. And the recipient of that, Best Rap Album Grammy. Anybody want to take a guess? Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff with Parents Just Don't Understand. Now, I know BA will like that one because he does respect Will Smith's large impact in hip-hop history. And he did win the first Grammy.
Correction, I respect the Fresh Prince. That Will Smith guy's an actor. Let's continue.
Fair enough. I retract the previous. However, the award wasn't televised. It was one of those awards, because back in the day, I think they still do this, those awards that I guess they think nobody cares
like
about.
15
so
of them
just,
too. It's like makeup artist,
they give
score
them out.
track, like it's backdrop, best backdrop.
Yeah, well, they did rap that. And so in 1989, KRS and Salt and Pepper and the Stop the Violence movement protested that. So I got a question for y'all and for you, BA. Do you think this helped legitimize rap in the mainstream, or is it just another example of industry disrespect?
The boycott?
The whole thing in general.
I think the award was a slight because it wasn't televised. Here's a piece of bread, shut up. That's kind of what it was. The boycott in it.
You wanted your award. You wanted your award here.
Boycott, and don't get me wrong, I still believe it was the right award to introduce the awards because of the popularity of the artist, but also the overall album sales, the units moved of that album. It had momentum, right? And it had momentum on mainstream airplay as well as hip hop chart. So,
I mean, and we had to be honest, if the Grammy was going to give out their first rap award, it was not going to be It Takes a Nation of Millions
straight out of
or
Compton.
by any means necessary. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was definitely not going to be
one of
straight
those,
out of
right.
Compton.
But the boycott, on the other hand, I think the boycott showed the Grammys, American Music Awards, because all of these things follow. I think what it showed them was, if you're not going to praise us out loud, then don't use me to get my people to watch your show. And this has come up several times with the Grammys, how they took the categories, how they've chopped the
And several
categories,
magazines.
right? Different things. But that boycott, not just that it was a boycott. Let's get an understanding there. It wasn't that it was a boycott. It was who was boycotting. Because the cool thing about the boycott was Yo MTV Raps threw a party for the winners, and it was full of rap's biggest names and stars at a different location chilling, and it was televised. That was the beauty of the boycott. It wasn't just, we're not going, let me, get in front of a camera whenever a camera shows up and talk noise. No, nobody really did anything derogatory at the Grammys. It was just, it's not for us, and they've proved that by not even putting us on TV. So we're going to do our own thing because our own thing got us here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I felt like that boycott was so dope.
That also shows the importance, again, of Yo MTV Raps to have that platform to be able to do that. And that sounds like the reaction to, you remember what Dre said on the Chronic 2000 or 2001 about the beef with Suge, when he said, it's not that I'm too big to listen to the rumors, it's just that I'm too damn big to pay attention to them. It was like them going, fine, I get that y'all don't recognize us, but we don't need you to.
Yeah.
And they were right. They were absolutely right. Because the Grammys has never been to hip hop what it needs to
be. I think you hit it on the head with Yo MTV Raps, right? Shout out Fat Five. Like, that was brilliant. I don't say this often about MTV, but that was one of the few times MTV got it right. So, whoever was leading A&R in the hip hop division and whoever was in production for Yo MTV Rap, they listened to Fab Five Freddy. They listened to Ed Love and Dr. Dre, like, hey, this is going on and we need to be on the front line on this thing, not reporting it later. Like, this needs to be the show. We don't need to talk about it during another show. And that's what made the boycott so crazy, because the boycott was an episode of Yo MTV Rap. Like, that was the show.
All right, y'all. So we'll move on to the next segment.
1, 2,
This one, I'm gonna call the Barbershop Breakdown. Here's a little bit of, since we're talking about 1988, a little bit of a lyrical autopsy of Rakim's Follow the Leader. All right, I'm only gonna talk about this first verse here on this song, but y'all know one of the main things I love about Rakim, about spitters in general, is the multi-syllabic rhyme scheme. Love me some multis. And Rakim, not the first person to ever do multi-syllabic rhyme schemes, but Rakim has mastered multi-syllabic rhyme schemes in a way that not many other rappers have. There are a few in his category, and we could debate that at a later date. But Rakim is one of the best when it comes to pure technical skill as a rapper. Internal rhyme, compound syllables, and still being able to paint pictures with his bars. And here's the thing that was so cool about it in 1988 was it was less shouting and more flow control. He wasn't screaming like a lot of rappers was. He wasn't shouting at people. He was very controlled. His voice stayed low and even, like another great rapper who came out of New York that we talk about all the time, Mr. Nasir Jones. Might have been some influence there, I'm just saying.
Rap control.
Follow me, he starts off with saying, with the invitation, follow me into a solo. All right, first thing, Rakim is stepping the booth like a prophet. He ain't just saying he's doing this as a leader for fun. He wants you to be the student he's about to teach you something. So from bar one, he's planting his authority and letting y'all know what goes up. Picture like a photo. Now this is in 1988. Picture like a photo has been said a lot since then, but this is in 1988 where it hadn't been said quite so much. But he's still letting you know he's ready to paint those pictures. He's ready to give you something that's like a movie. Once again, rappers like Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z, but technical flex. He moves into a technical flex. If you listen to how he stacks his syllables, flow, photo, mellow, phonics, he's stacking those syllables all together, still with those internal rhymes, and nobody in 88 was layering rhymes like that. Nobody had those kind of layers. I know, B.A., you're a huge fan of Rakim. On a technical level, was anybody doing it quite like that? Was anybody doing it with what felt like a science, like he did it? It felt like a science to me when Rakim did it.
No, I mean, you kind of list the usual suspects, Kane, Coogee, but I don't think anybody, we always give Jay credit for how Jay builds an album. Over the years, we'd be like, nobody puts together a project how Jay does. Jay's thought process is, we get a lot of quotables from Jay, but he doesn't spit it's not a quotable situation, right? It's a build. I feel that way about Rakim as a lyricist. I'm not saying there aren't other artists that were structured or even were as lyrically structured based as Rakim. I just don't think anyone took the time to build a cadence, to build a flow, to build a 4 to an 8 to a 12 to a 16. Like, I don't think anybody took the time to structure it the way he did, because he buried 4s inside of 8s and buried 8s inside of 16s, but gave you an extra 4 somewhere in the middle, or 2 2s, as you will, to play with. Like, let's take how you broke it down in the beginning, right? The intro, follow me into a solo. Here's the part about that line most people follow me. You get that part. Like, come with me, I'm gonna take you somewhere. But he said, follow me. It was Eric B and Rakim. They were a group. Mm-hmm. He was a solo artist. So he was telling you, what we're about to do here, this isn't an Eric B. Rakim situation. I'm finna give you something that's just here, right here, me. Follow me into it.
Here's another level to that bar for you too. If you follow me into it, it's not
Correct.
A solo. If it's a solo,
by myself,
it's because you're
but
not.
I'm taking you with me.
Because you're not really
I'm
here.
taking you with
yes,
me.
Because you're not really here. I'm the teacher. You're not really here. Yeah, I'll do that real quick. Follow me into a solo, get into the flow, and you can picture like a photo. Music mix, mellow maintains to make melodies for MCs, motivates to break some everlasting. I can go on for days and days with rhyme displays that engrave deep as x-rays. I can take a phrase that's rarely heard, flip it, now it's a daily word. I get iller than Nam, I kill and bomb, but no alarm, Rakim will remain calm.
He gave you,
Nobody does it like
he gave
that.
you riots. He gave you bombs and then said to close out the bar, but despite all that, I remain calm. And if you've actually
And his
heard him
voice totally
deliver it,
was.
he never raised his voice during the bar. Like his vocals didn't even amp up on the parts where you would think he was trying to put inference on words that got loud and bomb, and he didn't do that. And so he ended with Rakim remains calm, because that's how the whole delivery was.
He was saying all of that, and he was like Hannibal Lecter, like his heart rate never got above 60. That is a better way to describe Rakim in hip hop. He is the Hannibal Lecter of rap. Like ain't nobody messing.
So when you
with
left that little home place, where did you go?
You know, just 2 steps away from poor white trash. Let's move on to the next segment. One I know BA likes to do. I like to get BA in on these. Era versus era. And we're going to pick years. I picked them 30 years apart. Lyricism from 1988 versus 2018 lyricism. I'll give y'all a quick rundown of the albums that came out in both years. So in 88, Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation, NWA, Straight Outta Compton, Eric B. and Rakim follow the leader, Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the Kane, Boogie Down Productions, By All Means Necessary, Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, EPMD, Strictly Business, My Girl, MC Light, Light as a Rock, Run DMC, Tougher Than Leather, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. And then in 2018, J. Cole had KOD, Drake had Scorpion, Travis Scott had Astro World, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, Mac Miller, Swimming, Pusha T, Daytona, Kanye West did Yay, Eminem did Kamikaze, Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy, Migos Culture 2, Lil Wayne, The Carter 5. BA, talk to me about what you're thinking about 1988 versus 2018. Now, I don't want us to get into, I don't want anybody to be like, it's obvious here. I'm just trying to compare the two eras. I don't want to smash on 2018 just because we put them up against the dream team.
And let me be clear when I say this, because this is real. This is real. It's obvious. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's not though, but it
is.
If you are 2018, your first problem is September 3rd, 1988 versus April 6th, 2018. That's your first problem, right? Because when we talk about in a list of heavy hitters in both years, there was only one female artist who had the chance that year to be able to have an album that's stacked above them all. The problem here is you're talking about MC Lyte and Cardi B. Outside of me saying it just like that, in no other version of the world of hip hop would those two words ever go together, right?
Hey, while you said that, I did realize we forgot to say that Light as a Rock came out in September. It just missed the summer that year. But for the fact that Light as a Rock came out with all of the albums we just named, and it didn't get swallowed up by those albums, that should let you know how great MC Lyte was as an MC. Because if for that were to happen in 2025, like if the top 12 artists were all to release an album this year, and then I don't know what female that could drop one.
I mean, let's talk about it. You get Jay, Kendrick, Cole, and I'm being loose here, Slim, Wayne, Yee, we're going just sales, Drake. You take those 7. What female artist drop, and I mean in this era, drops in the mix of that and that album doesn't get lost?
It's hard to find one.
I mean, some would argue Megan or Nicki. I could listen to either one of those arguments.
Wasn't this her debut album?
Yeah.
No,
Lights, yes, absolutely.
Light.
Yeah, this is MC Lyte. This
So-
is the first one.
So is there an MC that could debut in that year?
No.
Like, let's take 1994 or 1996. Was there well, actually, there were two. I think, that debuted,
yeah.
But they were Lil' Kim
and Foxy Brown.
Right. So they were up on that level.
They were the prototypical proteges from what an MC Light did. But that's your first problem, right? I'm not going to talk about your second and third problem. I'm actually going to give you props because Victory Lap may have been 2018's version of It Takes a Nation of Millions. And I say it loosely, but hear me out. For Nipsey Hussle, who he was, what he represented to not just California, not just Compton, the Marathon Continues was a movement. It Takes a Nation, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back was a movement, right? So that's what I mean. Like Victory Lap would have been 2018's version of that. So I give lots of props to that. Travis Scott's Astro World, right, would have been Ultramagnetic MC's Critical Beatdown. There's a lot of back-to-backs. 88 would have had some difficulty dealing with just because they all dropped in the same year. They might have had a little problem with Kamikaze, the Carter, and even Migos Culture. Even though I'm not a Migos fan, I do know how big that record was.
Yeah, and wouldn't you say that Scorpion might have competed a little bit with, say, Jazzy Jeff
and so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mainstream artistry. And if you know anything about the Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince in the beginning, right? This album got him a career outside of rap. Parents Just Don't Understand was the focal point to how the show, the TV show started. This man was making songs and they took those songs and made a TV show from them. So when I tell you that he's the DJ, I'm the rapper was on some other stuff, Scorpion would have been the 2018 version of that. So, I mean, for us, it is clear cut because for us, we got to live through both eras. So for those fans who 2018 was their 1988, everything they heard in 88 would have been retro. And most of them, because of the musicality of 88, they wouldn't have been trying to hear a lot of it.
1, 2. All right, so let me switch it up a little bit on you. Let's talk about top 5 albums from 1988. I know it's a hard one to do, but I came up with a little list. I want to run it by you and see what you think about it. So I'll start from 5, go down. Number 5, BDP By All Means Necessary. Number 4, Long Live the King. Number 3, Follow the Leader. Number 2, Straight Outta Compton. And number 1, It Takes a Nation of Millions. Now, It Takes a Nation of Millions, you know I picked that because this is my list. And you know I particularly love political rap, and especially the way that Public Enemy did it. The in-your-face style, the noisy style. I really loved what they did. I put them up there because of what all of the rappers that Chuck D influenced. And because Chuck D influenced the guys who turned out to be my favorite rappers too, like Cube, Scarface. Straight Outta Compton, I put in there, all MCs aside, just because they invented a subgenre. Like you get credit for just inventing a whole new style of rap with that. Follow the Leader because the lyricism that kicked off. That's what I love about that. Long Live the Kane for all the reasons you said about Big Daddy Kane and that slick style and just the whole everything that went with it, the image that he had that went with it, why people started caring, rappers started caring about how they dressed and stuff like that. And then BDP, By All Means Necessary, I don't think any list is complete without KRS being somewhere around a list when it comes to something. But not only for what KRS does for the culture, strictly the culture is what I appreciate about that. So what'd you think about that list?
I love the list. I mean, for me, the 1 and 2 are the easiest for me. For one, because of the movement. It Takes a Nation. You can't, like that song, that Fight the Power song, there's nothing you can do with that. But what I think most people forget about is the second one on this list, which is Straight Outta Compton. For as good as that album was, and it was amazing, to do it in less than 3 weeks, top to bottom, start to finish, period. It's unheard of. Unheard. And I don't mean there's a bunch of edits. I don't mean that everybody finished their lyrics and then it went into post credits and edits and then it was put out 3 months later. I mean, done. I believe 16 days is how long it took to produce Straight Outta Compton.
That is something that makes it feel the way it feels too, because in that short a time, you don't have enough time to change your mood, your emotions, or anything like that. Everything feels the exact same way because you're stuck in that moment. That's what makes that album so
And if
beautiful.
you listen to it, Cube and Ren couldn't have been two different types of rappers, right? But if you listen to it, the temperature in the room was matched bar for bar, line for line. And what I loved about that album is they both each got their own song to do their own thing, just so everybody could understand what it was like. You had Quiet on the Set and Gangsta Gangsta. Like you just got what you got.
You got Kobe
yeah,
and Shaq
you just got what
together.
you got.
It's gonna be hard.
It was a beautiful thing. And so for me on that list, not saying I would exclude one, but the only other two really for me that should be mentioned in the 5, if there was a slot for them, would be EPMD Strictly Business. You got to chill and you're a customer. Wow. Yeah. The 5th Group Russell signed to Def Jam. And then of course, Light as a Rock. For that to be a debut. To be one of the, I say one of the GOATs, but definitely the female version of the GOAT, clear and by far. Lauren probably is the only other person that you could even discuss in that category. But
well, I believe you said at one time that if Rakim were a female,
he'd be MC Light. Absolutely.
Light. All right, so that'll do it for the summer '88. But we like to celebrate rap's legacy, so we'll do it by bringing up some headlines. BA, I got a few new things going on in the rap world just to bring out the chat about a little bit. See how you feel about things. First, according to the New York Post, one-time rap mogul Dame Dash is now swamped with $25 million in debt. Man, life comes at you fast, man. Life comes at you fast. It wasn't that long ago he was yelling at my man on the Backstage documentary, and now $25 million, that's a lot of debt.
Man. The crazy thing is when you see Dame still walk around like he in the green with that $25 million. His conversation, the way he talked to people, Dame talked to people like they broke and like how they making their money make 0 cents. You a slave, bro. Like you ain't making no money. If you ain't your own boss, you ain't making no money. Hey, at once upon a time, I could support that with you. And I believe that wholeheartedly, but 25 million is tough.
Well, he still is his own boss.
And he needs to fire his CEO. He needs to restructure or something because
that means he's gonna be doing his own garnishments.
Because his management he needs to restructure.
All right, I got another one for you. Cardi B has been cleared in a major $25 million lawsuit, and she is making it known that she is no easy target in the courtroom after a security guard claimed Cardi assaulted her.
Blame social media. I blame TikTok. I blame social media. I blame all of these avenues where people can get on and make their own truth. And because they got views being truth. And I wasn't there. I've been saying that since the OJ trial. I wasn't there. I don't know. Don't ask me. Didn't nobody call me. I don't know if the bodyguard is believable or Cardi B story is 100%. I don't know. But what I do know is this. I do know it's getting super easy for people to just say stuff and get paid off of it, whether it's true or not, because they know the bad press, the bad publicity messes up people's money, and they would just rather pay you and shut you up and keep their money flowing than have to deal with trying to get people to believe the truth about the situation. And I think that's terrible.
Yeah, and you used to have to go to a reporter and get a reporter to believe you in order to get that kind of press.
drop.
Now
Yeah,
you can just get on
yeah.
TikTok
Now you can just say
and
it.
get people to keep.
Yeah. Get your little feed ins and put your little blue screen, green screen behind you with your little. Yeah.
1, 2.
Drake admits it stung being accused of being a culture borrower, even though he says he's been trying to shine a light on upcoming artists, according to an interview with people.com.
Sure, why you ponder that? Let me say this. I believe that to be true. I believe he was truly stunned and his feelings was real hurt, because I believe he believed that he was not appropriating, that he was not going in that direction. Again, I don't know him. I don't know his motives, whatever. I'm just saying, I believe that part of the interview when he said he was stunned, when the industry turned on Drake, I don't think he knew what to do, because I think he thought he was in there like swimwear.
Yeah, and that's one, I'll agree with you there, and that's one place I can feel sympathy for Drake, because the industry did do a complete 180 on him, and I don't think he saw it coming.
Raisins in the potato salad. He dropped it off at the barbecue and was bragging, and they pulled back that aluminum foil. Hey, no, he gotta go. He gotta go. Look, he gotta go. Is this green apples in the potato salad? Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, you can't get creative in the staple dishes.
You brought tofu instead of potatoes.
Yeah, you can't get creative. What is hummus? So you mean to tell me this ain't queso? This is hummus? This ain't no bean dip. Hey, whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? That's how quick it was. You was in there. You brought the wrong dish to the cookout. Yeah.
1, 2.
All right, some news I do want to talk about. Bun B is about to celebrate the anniversary of their Trill album with an unplugged show in Houston, according to the Houston
Love
Chronicle.
that.
I would like to see Bun B unplugged.
Love
man.
that.
Bun B with a
Love
band.
that. Love that. Especially that album. Love that. You know, I've been seeing all these people at the Tiny Desk and the little front porch concerts. I like to see
Face.
I like to see Bun B do one. Man, look, I'm a grown man. Y'all see me? I'm a grown man. When Face did his Tiny Desk, and all I heard was he greets his father with his hands, I teared up a little bit, because
Hey, I swear when he did that, I swear to God, I almost did one of those little girl things where I was
that,
like this.
and when he did
shit
Smile, I fanned out first and foremost, but the meaning behind those songs, stories with the song, the build up to the song.
Hey, what you say? Hey, what you say? BA, damn, somebody cutting onions.
It
in
was,
here.
you know what I'm saying? When you get the long, yeah, it was tough, man. But yeah, I'm here for it with Bun for sure. Unplugged. I think that's a great way to do it too. I think it's personal, right? I think that's a great way to do it, and I really hope it's at a venue where at most it might be a couple hundred people. Like I don't want it to be somewhere big. Like let it be small and quaint. Like you remember, I don't know if you remember when MTV used to do the Unplugged. The Unplugged series like that.
Do it like a House of Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always down for anything with Bun B. He can get all the accolades that they want to give him.
Speaking of Bun, it's secondary, but today I heard an old interview with Pimp C, and he was going at Atlanta rappers. As you know, Pimp didn't really love Atlanta music that much. He had a couple artists he liked, but he didn't love everything coming out of Atlanta. And the first thing he said is, no. Leave Bun out of this. If you got a problem with me, tell me. I'm going to come see you. You'll be able to smell my cologne, Izzy Miyake, number 19. He was like, I'm coming directly if we got a problem. I was like, man, I miss Pimp. Man, I miss Pimp.
All right. That's it for us, y'all. That is the summer of '88 in rap, which is one of the most critical points ever in rap history, where we got some first and some Hall of Fame projects. A dozen Hall of Fame projects in 1 year, 6 in a summer, man. It don't happen like that very often. But check in with us next week, because next week we're going to talk about 1994 in rap and what 1994 meant to rap music. So I know y'all want to check in for that one. Go ahead and smash that like and subscribe. Check us out on Spotify, Amazon, everywhere you get your podcast. We'll be there. That's it for us. I'm your man, Chad. That's Big Absoloot right over there. And we'll catch y'all next time.
Kick ass!